Hi, so my name's Louise. I'm one of the sisters on the inpatient unit at the hospice here to manage the ward and look after the patients day to day. Before coming into healthcare, I used to work as a travel agent and then I worked at a bank for a couple of years where I was made redundant. And when that happened, I decided I wanted to become a nurse. So I did my nurse training. When I was doing my training, I could see how important palliative care was, and it just inspired me to work in the hospice from when I qualified as a nurse. So we really just need people to be talking about us. We still every day get people, patients and their relatives coming in that have never heard of us before and don't know what services we can offer. So just by talking about us, getting the word out there that we're here, helping at fundraising events and volunteering, that would all be amazing. The most rewarding thing about working in the hospice is just being able to really patient-centred, individualised care, helping people to create memories with their loved ones, and just working in a place that's really supportive of that.
I'm Sophie. I've been with Right at Home since last year, about a year and a half now, and the experience has just been incredible. I'm going on to do mental health nursing, and if it weren't for Right at Home, I wouldn't have moved on to do this career. They've supported me through everything, been there every time I've needed a chat, and they're just the kindest group of clients and people that you could ever wish to work for. So I really highly recommend working with them.
Because look, as I said, you're teaching me loads as we're chatting now. um, I'll ask you. Yeah, if there's anything that you don't feel comfortable asking, just tell me, please.
Yeah.
I will edit myself out, so it'll just be you talking
Yeah.
in the video. So I might interrupt you and say, "Oh, can you just repeat that sentence back to me in a full sentence?" If you can try and answer in full sentences, but yeah, just chatting like we just were. So do you feel comfortable just telling me about some of the main symptoms of the menopause that affect you and other women?
Yep. So my main ones was hot flushes, migraines, panic attacks, foggy brain, weight gain, thyroid symptoms, and not being able to sleep at night were the main ones that I can think of.
And how did going living with those symptoms for such a long period of time affect you, like personally, emotionally?
Personally, I think when it first starts, you're just like, okay, here we go. Unfortunately for me, I started very young, so I was 34 when I started going through a menopause. You learn to live with it eventually. I wasn't able to have any medication because it just enhanced the problems that I was having. So then I had to look at it, how am I going to help myself? So that's what I started doing. I am a positive person, so you do have to try and think about it positively. The main thing for me was talking about it to other people. Obviously then people were 20 years older than me that were going through it, and where I was working at the time, no, everyone was shocked that I was going through it, but everyone then got on my side, and it would be like quite funny, like, oh, Ali's having a moment now, because, you know, I would flush at least 20 to 30 times, if not more times a day. And being able to joke about it, I think, is how it got me through. There's been dark times when I've been on my own, and woke up absolutely panicked because I'm sweating, I'm hot, I don't know what to do. But once you realise what you're going through, you sort of like pull yourself back, and, you know, having the support of your family, especially my husband, like if I wake up screaming because I'm panicking, he's like, you're okay, he calms you down, and you think, oh yeah, I can calm down. So yeah, it's a very individual thing, though the menopause is probably going to happen to many women. It is individual to that person.
Do you think, so as you say, it's like individual, it's different for every single woman. There'll be no two women that experience the same menopause, but every woman goes through it. Is there like advice that you think, even though every woman's experiencing it differently, but would be like, yeah, if it's going to be hard, here we go, but what advice would you give to women?
Talk about it. Definitely talk about it. Also read about it, but when I say that, don't get stuck on it, because everyone's symptoms are so different. So like you said, you know, there are so many symptoms. I've probably experienced 9 of however many symptoms that can be. You probably you do feel alone, you do feel like, oh no, why me? But I found, because obviously where I was so young, that I had to tell people, you know, what people, I would think, well, people would think, why is she so red? Why does she keep going out and everything? So by telling someone, and then my bosses and my colleagues, even my friends, they were just like, they just work with you, if that makes any sense. It's like, I don't know. Oh, it's so hard to describe, really. Sorry.
No, don't say sorry. So what you've sort of, it's seen as a bit of a taboo subject still, and what we're trying to do is make it less of a taboo subject, and we can only achieve that by women talking. Obviously, like, we're a place of work, and you were very lucky to be able to talk about it at your place of work. There'd be women who don't feel like they can, because they're uncomfortable. Is there anything that you think you'd say to them, you know, it doesn't need to be taboo, like to give the women the confidence to say, you can tell your employer, you can tell your friends?
Definitely. The way I look at it is, unfortunately, women are designed to go through this, and as much as we don't want to, you know, we will. And there are people that might just have a couple of months of symptoms, people that might sail it with no symptoms, then there's people like me that went through it for 12 years. And I feel like, I mean, I'm an open and honest person, wear my heart on my arm, really, so I don't mind people knowing. I let people know as much as they need to know. You know, obviously there are the more intimate symptoms with menopause as well, which I don't need to discuss with anyone, because they don't see that. And, you know, my advice to be was, there will be someone in your workplace that you trust, and make them your little confidant, and just be honest with them. So for me here at Right at Home, I'm the mental health first aider as well, but I love doing welfare checks with people. So I'd like to think that if people were going through it here, that they would come and talk to me, because I do have some really good conversations with our caregivers. And I think just reassuring anyone as well that it can stay confidential. It doesn't need to be made public if you don't want it to be. But if you were talking to me, I would probably start making you laugh, because I would say how I coped with it and my little silly scenarios that I had and what I'd done, and hopefully it would rub off onto other people. But I personally think, please don't be ashamed of it. Talk, talk is the best way to get yourself through it, because there's other people going through it.
Yeah, it's important for women to remember, like you say, it's different for everyone, but not all women, but mostly all women are going to go through it at some point. So it's nothing to be ashamed of.
Nothing to be ashamed of at all. If you can get to 50 and get through it with a year or whatever, or 60 and think, oh, it never happened, I take my hat off to you. But if you're going through it, please just talk and share your experiences. We all learn from everyone else's experiences.
You said that obviously I can tell you're a really positive person, and you used humour a lot of the time to help you get through it. Why is it that is that something that you do with a lot of things in your life? How did that help you get through it?
Yeah, I do try and make a joke out of myself all the time. I think when you do go through it, so one of my symptoms was like I gained weight and I could see myself changing, but rather than for someone to say, oh, Ali, you've gained some weight or something, I would say, oh, he comes fatty with the hot flush or something, and then it would just be like, you know, when I was having a hot flush, I'd be like, oh, just having a moment. I said, but then some of my colleagues would notice it before me, because it would get here, but before it gets here, you don't really feel it. I think having humour about it just shows that you're just a normal person, and unfortunately just going through what life is throwing at us. So, you know, it's a woman's thing. No one else understands it. But yeah, it was just, I think, humour in everything you do. Even like when I couldn't sleep at night, you know, I'd come in and I would like jokingly have 2 matchsticks glued to the side of I haven't slept because I've been up all night sweating. So, you know, and people would say, oh, and then for Christmas I'd get matchboxes or things like that, and we would just have laughs. And, you know, I think as well, because I was the youngest at the time in my workplace, I think the older women probably hadn't experienced it or didn't have it as bad, took like a little shine and would like try and help me through it and things like that. So yeah, you've got to have a humour. It is draining, I'm not going to lie that, and you know, people's symptoms can be a lot worse than mine. I've never suffered with the moods or the depression, but I know that can happen as well. So if you can try and switch it,
and
will help you.
They say with like anxiety, depression, the best cure, the best help is to speak to someone.
Yeah,
exactly as you've said.
Definitely.
With anything, isn't it?
Well, definitely. The more you talk about it, and the more you can laugh or cry, because if you're crying, sometimes that's a release for you as well. And we've all done it. You start crying and you start laughing because you feel stupid, but you're not stupid, because you've just released all that anxiety that's just going to help you go forward. And, you know, I'm fortunate I didn't go down that road, but I know some people have. I'm supporting my friends through it. You know, we send some really silly gifts to each other, and it is having that support. So if you know, there's plenty online as well that you can join groups and you can just have really honest conversations, and I just think it's amazing, really, in that respect.
You said before, and I loved it, about how you love yourself now. Like, you've been through so much, and you've got to a place where you're really happy with yourself.
Yeah, definitely. So now my menopause is gone. I've managed to lose nearly 2 stone in weight. I don't know, I just feel super positive about myself. I love me for the first time in a very long time. I don't know, I just love myself, and that is just so nice to say that I've been a young girl like everyone else. I've been married, I've got children, and I got lost somewhere, but I'm back. And I think that's what I love so much. I'm back. So it's proof that you can get through it. You will get through it. And just ride it, own it, and then love yourself even more.
Do you think part of like the reason you're so in love with yourself now is because you look back and go, whoa, look what I've got myself through, look what I've done, you've achieved in a way, I think.
Definitely, like I said earlier on, you know, starting the menopause early, then having a full hysterectomy, then being diagnosed with diabetes while dealing with menopause as well, to come out the end, finished your menopause, my diabetes is under control, I've lost weight, I feel amazing. Do you know what I mean? So it's really, I just Ali's back.
I think I'm trying to think of anything. Is there anything else you'd like to tell, like share with other women? I think you summed it up amazing, Vernon. Like, you can get through it, you will get through it. We spoke about everyone's different. Is there anything else you'd want to, what would you have wanted to hear if you were watching this and you were going through it?
When I started going through it, I mean, I guess I had really good work colleagues, but people talking about it more, being honest and open. There's obviously a lot of people that will say they're depressed, they're anxious and everything, but a lot of people won't go and get that help. Go to the doctors, get the help, then listen to what they say, but most importantly, just keep talking to people. There is someone out there that will listen and will totally understand what's going on with you. So I think that's just been my main thing, and just looking online, finding alternative ways to try and help yourself. But yeah, if 12 years ago I had the bosses I've got now as well, and menopause was spoken about as much as it is now, I think a lot more people would learn to accept it better than what they did, maybe what they are now.
And I think acceptance, actually, we've not really said, but acceptance is really important.
Yeah, you've got to accept it. There's no, you can't deny it. It's not going to stop. I mean, if you can have the HRT, great, I would go for it. It helped me for 2 years, but unfortunately it didn't in the end. So I didn't take any of the herbal stuff as well. It was all about making changes for myself, and it's things like reducing your caffeine and your alcohol, eating fresh foods, and really learning about yourself. So even though you still don't like yourself, you are actually making a massive change. So when it does finish, I mean, I didn't really know it had finished, if that made sense, because I'd learnt to live with it. And you do, it is learning to live with it, accepting it, and dealing with it how you need to deal with it, not how people want you to deal with it.
Me.
Hey Amanda!
Hey everyone!
Hey Amanda!
Hi! So it's my turn on the bike this morning. So just doing my bit, completely inappropriately dressed to be on a bike. But who cares? It's all for a really, really good cause. We've already raised over £300, guys.
Whoop, whoop.
So if we could get at least another 100 or maybe 200, that would be amazing. So please keep donating. And then you can see me embarrassing myself trying to cycle in my dress.
Oh, well done, guys.
Hi, I'm Amanda, your registered manager. Just wanted to say thank you for all of your understanding in 2022, and we look forward to supporting you throughout 2023. It only remains for me to wish you all a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
We've decided once again this year not to send Christmas cards, but I can't end the year without wishing you all and your families a very Merry Christmas and all the very best for the new year.
We would just like to wish you a very Merry Christmas
And a Happy New Year.
all the very best for 2023.
Merry Christmas.
And a Happy New Year.
Hello, wishing all our clients a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Good morning, I'm Amy. I am co-owner and operations director here at Right at Home. It's been so lovely to meet quite a lot of you throughout the year, and Kev and I hope to get out and see more of you in 2023. We just want to say a big thank you for all of your support throughout 2022, and we wish you all the best for the new year and hope you have a fantastic Christmas.
Just wanted to say a very, very special Merry Christmas to all of our wonderful clients and all of your families. Thank you all for a wonderful year. It's been a real pleasure getting to know some of you this year in our office parties, and I look forward to getting to meet many more of you in the years to come. Take care and have a great Christmas.